Hello, and welcome to the DJ Force 10 in Conversation podcast, episode 119. God, we're getting there, aren't we? Today, we have none other than Alex from the band Psychostick. He's the drummer. We're here to talk about his band, Psychostick. They are doing live streams every Thursday, playing sets. Please check that out. It goes out about 10 o'clock UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. It's absolutely fantastic. Their back catalogue is amazing. Fantastic. If you like your sort of like comedy, rock, metal, they are absolutely brilliant. Obey the Beard is one of my favourite songs. So, do check him out. He's also got a book out as well called Dichotomies, Lessons from a College Life on Tour. We do talk about that in the interview as well. So do check out that book. If it sounds like something you're interested in, you can pick it up off Amazon. I have actually got a physical copy in front of me right now. I picked up from Amazon. I paid for it and everything, so whatever amount of royalty goes to him as well. But it's basically about his sort of like when he's on tour and he's studying for his various qualifications and whatnot. I won't give that too much. But it does mention a lot of places in England, a couple of places I was familiar with, which was great. There's some great photos in there as well. So yeah, do check it out. It's available in digital format as well. So if you got a Kindle or an iPad or whatever, you can get it on that. But it is well worth it. And I just started reading it. I'm into like the first sort of like a few chapters, and I'm really enjoying it. I just finished off Thin Air by Richard Morgan, which again is a fantastic. If you like your sci-fi novels, which is what I was talking about in this particular show with him. I've just finished that, and that's brilliant. If you liked Altered Carbon, it's the same author. He's got a bunch of other books. I'm going to start on another one after this one. But yeah, I'm a couple of chapters in. I literally started reading it a couple of nights ago. And it's very funny, very clever. I can relate to a lot of it as well, which is great. So, thank you guys for previous podcast downloads and whatnot. It's been an absolute pleasure. There was a bit of a problem with the August Bone Red one, which some of you guys let me know about. But I've remedied that issue, and now it's fully there. I'm not sure quite what happened. I think the file might have got corrupted on upload. Or it was just badly edited by me. I'll take full responsibility for it. I do apologise. But you can go back and listen to that one now. More Than Moth from yesterday. Fantastic interview that was as well. Do check out her music. Let's go for it. This is Alex from Psychostick. Enjoy. Alex from Psychostick is on my show this week. Welcome, Alex.
Greetings. Good to see you. Well, hear you at least.
I can see you, but you can't see me. It's more fortunate for you. So it's all good. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm just keeping busy, reading a lot. I got a bunch of different projects, a lot of music going on. So, cool. Yeah, just staying busy. I think that's the important thing right now.
It is indeed. Yep. It's certainly a lot of the musicians I've been speaking to. They've been finding ways of keeping busy and getting on with the kind of other things that are involved in being in a band that you kind of leave to one side until it really needs to be done.
Yeah, it's definitely a music business, and people, like a lot of musicians, especially when they're up and coming, forget that the other half of that is the business part, and so it's good to not completely neglect it. So yeah, when there's time to actually consider all the other things that are important too, that's nice. That's it's nice to have that time available.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it is good. It's good. It's very weird, but it is good. Even like just from what no one's really been through this before, I guess, but it's just I'm finding it quite weird at the moment now. Initially it had a novelty effect of like, oh, I'm not at work, it's great, I'm still being paid, it's fantastic, but now it's kind of like I really need 5 things to do, and right, I've got kids to school and stuff now, so it's kind of sort of getting on top of that and learning how to present that to the children in a way that they can like learn, instead of just saying, look, the teacher's giving you this, just do that,
Yeah, I think it's good to be not only optimistic, but also smart about how you approach your day and your week and your month and everything else. Just because our lives are now somewhat different for the time being, you could either be grumpy about it, or you can take it as an opportunity. Like, okay, well, now that I'm in one place and I'm not supposed to go anywhere too much, okay, well, what can I learn? What project can I get into that I wouldn't have done otherwise? So that's kind of been my approach to the whole thing recently, just because I can't control it. I can control what I do, but I can't control the world.
Yeah.
So may as well make the best of it.
Yeah.
Really.
No, that's excellent. That's good. I really like that. That's that's awesome. Cool. So let's have a quick chat about your band. You guys are a fantastic band, I must say. I've been aware of you guys for years now. I've played a lot of your music. I'm a DJ in a rock clubs over here, and I have played your music. I love Obey the Beard because I have a beard. And
I try to have a beard. It doesn't really work for me.
Okay, fair enough. It's not for everyone. But no, I mean, I just say I love your band. I mean, did you ever think you would do what you have done by being in a band of this sort of nature?
No, not really. So we've been a band for 20 years as of this August.
Wow.
So yeah, this is our 20-year anniversary, if you will, coming up. When it was, I don't know, maybe it was 2004 or something like that. I actually wrote a song for a different project called Proof of Dark Matter. And the song was about hoping that I succeed in music and hoping that I accomplish cool things, but not really expecting to.
Yeah.
Because the music industry, by and large, it's very frivolous at times, and there's a lot of it is just based on luck in a sense.
Yeah.
Like you're not just automatically lucky and then become successful. You have to put in the work too. It's a prerequisite, obviously, but luck definitely has a big factor in there too. So just the fact that we've gotten as far as we have, and we've had the enormous pleasure of coming to the UK 3 times. We've been to Germany once. I mean, just the fact that we could do that at all has been wildly just surprising and just incredible. I mean, it's something that I hope we never take it for granted.
No, that's also, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, being class yourself as like the comedy sort of metal band, if you will.
Yeah.
But just sort of making I guess a career from it, a musical career from it, and it's still going. Like you say, 20 years of doing this, and I take it the passion hasn't waned on that front. You still enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. If we didn't enjoy doing it, we wouldn't be doing it, because I was 15 when we started this group. So I've been doing it for more than half my life. Like, I'm not just going to spend my, whole life doing a project if I'm not into it. So certainly, we definitely enjoy it still.
No, that's cool. That's even more awesome on that front, because it's, there's not many of you kind of like of that sort of band around. I mean, you get the sort of like bigger ones, I say like Tenacious D, things like that have, they have other things going on that can make them as big as they are. And like people like Weird Al come to mind and things like that. And it's just like, and you guys as well, you fall into that category. And it's not just sort of like, not to discount what Weird Al does, but like comedy, like covers or anything like that. There's original content.
Yeah, I think that's a misconception some people have with Weird Al. They think that he just does funny parodies, and that's certainly a big part of it. But he also has, like you said, like a whole ton of excellent original work. And he's had the same core band for decades. Like the entire group of them, it's been the same members for as long as I'm pretty sure it's been since they started. They've been the same group of people. So that's pretty incredible. But actually, regarding Weird Al, I not only share my first name, Alex, with him, but I also share a birthday, October 23rd.
Oh,
with
wow.
him. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, there must be something on that particular day, I guess.
I just thought I'd show up that day.
Yeah, no, fair enough. No, that's amazing. That's a great little like connection with him as well, which is awesome. So at the moment, obviously I've been chatting to a few bands, and everything's sort of like on hold when it comes to tours and stuff. But you guys are doing live streams every Thursday.
Oh yeah.
And did that started last week, didn't it, or was it the week before?
So actually, we started doing live streams last year.
Okay.
It was a lot less regular. We weren't doing them every single week. That was something we wanted to potentially start doing, was weekly concerts, but we didn't really have. I think it was a little bit too aggressive for, not stylistically, but a little too aggressive on the business side. Like, we were hoping to be more successful, and people didn't really get it at first. They're like, oh, this is cool. Wait, what are they doing? It's like they're a band. It's a concert. Like, I thought this was a gaming thing. And so people didn't really put that together by and large. Some people obviously did. But as of this year, especially when some other larger, much more established bands started doing it as well, it became this thing, like this possibility in people's brains, like, oh, bands are starting to do live streams. That's cool. And so I imagine they started looking up other groups, like, what are the bands are live streaming? I'm bored at home. I want to see more concerts.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people that perhaps haven't, listened to us in a while, like maybe they heard an album a bunch of years ago and haven't really followed up or whatever it might be. I suspect that at least, some of them, a good portion of them are, they just kind of lost touch with us in a sense. And then now that we're doing this live stream thing, we can reach people all over the globe. Like, we've never toured in Australia or, I don't know, the Czech Republic or wherever else. So the fact that we can reach people and do these live streams, and they're interactive, and people could say, hey, I'm from New Zealand checking in. It's just really cool. It's just really fun to be able to reach people all over the globe in a way that before it not only wasn't possible before, on a weekly sense, I guess you could say, but now everyone's really appreciative for it too. They're like, oh, cool, something nice is happening. It's not just the news, like doom and gloom and the sky is falling and everyone's gonna die and everything like that. Like, you can still have fun. We're allowed to have fun still.
No, that's exactly it. And I was gonna bring that on to like sort of thanking you for that as well, because I've sort of like had a lot of, like I say, a lot of artists on the show, and I've sort of reiterated to them that the arts are what are really, like, obviously your personal family and everything are really important, but for your own sort of like mental kind of like health, the arts are a great escape for that. Be it through music, poetry, paintings, digital art, digital, like, animations, things like that. And with you guys doing something like this on a regular basis, it gives things, something to watch and sort of like distract, but also something to look forward to the following week, because you are doing it on a regular basis. It's not just like a one-off thing. And a few artists have been doing like regular things. I mean, for the kids and stuff that I've noticed, there's a few like British kind of musician types are doing like music classes online. Like every day they're uploading a video for kids to do. And like there's a children's author doing like reading and writing and things like that, which is amazing, because between the stuff that we've been sort of given from the school, there's still a lot of downtime in between that, and to sort of protect the kids as well as ourselves from, because of being like shut in the house essentially all day. Like having that outlet, and
boredom too.
there is that too, boredom. And, you can feel some of that with video games. You can feel some of that with Disney Plus that's just launched here. And everyone's sort of on that at the moment. I know you guys have had it for a little while over there. But
some of my friends haven't. I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh, okay. All right. It's just full of Disney. That's all it is. But, it's that's great to a certain degree, but otherwise you're stuck in front of like a streaming service, and it's not ideal, but whereas music really does activate the mind, especially for myself. You guys doing that, and it's not on too late for us either, so it's on at like 10 o'clock at night, so it's not too bad.
That's actually why we chose the like for Central Time, what we're in Chicago. That's actually why we chose 4 p.m. Central Time, was because a huge portion of our fan base is European, and we want to make it early enough to where people aren't falling asleep at their computers and things like that. So We did that on purpose. We were cognizant of that very thing about our UK and German and everything else, like our fans from that area. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
No, that's cool. I'd just say thank you. It's great. It's great stuff. I'm sure I'm saying thank you for a lot of people as well. So cool. I just want to bring on to something else as well. You have a book. I was fortunate enough to get sent a pre-copy or a digital copy, and I was wondering if you wanted to have a chat about that, if that's all right.
Yeah. My book is called Dichotomies: Lessons from a College Life on Tour. So it's the adventures of me pursuing my master's degree from 2011 to 2017. It goes through every semester, but each chapter is a year. Yeah. So the first chapter is chapter 2011 and then chapter 2012, throughout that whole thing. And what I decided to do initially when I first enrolled in my very first college classes is like an algebra class and a personal finance class or whatever it was. I decided, okay, I want to, try out this new challenge. I want to, pursue this new goal, but I'm not interested in giving up my other goals. So I decided I'm not going to stop doing music just because I'm going to be, doing online classes. So I decided to do both. Yeah. So before long, I was full-time doing band stuff and full-time doing school stuff. And I had to proctor a ton, dozens of exams while on the road. So I had to reach out to universities that are in the same town we were going to be in on a day that I had a concert. So I'd be in Tampa, Florida, or whatever it might be, and I had to weeks before talk to my professor and talk to my own school and have them send my test to the school, physically send it, so that because I can't have it, that would make it the possibility of cheating would be much greater, obviously. So it needs to go directly to the school. I would go to the school at the appropriate time, pay my little fee, and take the test, and then give it back to them, and they would mail it back to my school, and then it was just insanity. So I did that, I think it was 39 times. I've taken 39 proctored classes. So wow. It's just a wild tale, and actually, I did a final presentation while I was wrapping up my master's degree while in Reading, England. So we were playing in Reading, and we performed that night. So we played at 9 or 10 p.m., British time. And then I had my scheduled group final presentation for my class. It was the psychology of marketing, I think. And I had to do it in the alley behind the club. So it was 2 a.m. in the morning after a concert, and I was set up in an alley, next to a dumpster on one side and empty beer kegs on my other side. There's even a photo of it. I didn't take the photo, my guitarist took a photo while I was doing it, but it made it into the book. So there's evidence. There's actual
no, that was
actual evidence that I did
actually
that.
Something I picked up from it as well, because I was like, I'm going to be honest with you, I skimmed through the book just to sort of give myself a rough idea. I haven't fully read it. It's my next book to read. I'm currently stuck in a sci-fi, dystopian sci-fi novel by Richard Morgan.
Oh, I got to ask. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I got to ask which one, because I'm big into dystopian and sci-fi.
It's called Thin Air, and it's by Richard K. Morgan. I'm
going to write that down.
Yeah. He also wrote Altered Carbon, which is a big Netflix series now.
I really like Altered Carbon.
Yeah, so he's got 3 books in that series, if you're interested in that. He's just released... Oh, no, he's got all 3 out, actually. It's Altered Carbon, Broken Angels, and Woken Fury. That's the sort of Altered Carbon trilogy. But Thin Air's another book he's done. And it's kind of it's cool. Let me know you get on. He's got.
All right, sorry to get you off track and everything.
I love books, so that's all good. So, but yeah, your book is on my next to read. I've got it loaded up on my iPad thing. So,
awesome.
It's ready to go. It's just I want to finish this one first. I can only do one at a time. So
so the introduction is a short little story just talking about touring in general, just to give someone a sense of how crazy touring really is.
Yeah.
And so it's only a few pages long, and I tried to make that available for free, just as a sample of the book to anyone who wants to check it out before they even buy a copy of it.
Cool.
But you'll see very quickly touring is nuts, and it can be very gross.
Yes.
Just a disgusting experience. So with that in mind, it's a good preface in order to understand, like, not only the challenges that I went through, but also just how wacky the tale probably really is.
Yeah. No, like I was going to say before, like that's the part of the book that you just mentioned to me about doing your thing by the dumpster in Reading. It really sucked because like I say, I skimmed through the book and I found that bit, and I work in Reading.
Oh, okay, yeah. How close is that to the train station? Because the venue was right across from the train station.
It's in the main shopping mall that was in Reading, called the Oracle.
I'm not sure I know that one, but it's probably really close. It's not that big of a town. It is,
yeah. Was it Sub 89 you were playing in Reading?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
It's literally just down. You go round down. Anyway, you go down and round, and it's in the shopping mall that's down there. But yeah, no, that's what I saw. I saw that picture that your guitarist took, and I thought that was just sort of it. Kind of like it. I don't know. It really kind of struck me on that sort of like doing the multiple things as well as your like doing two passions at the same time. So obviously you're really passionate about your band and music, but you're also passionate about your own self-development and all that kind of stuff. And that picture it's a really damn good picture to really kind of sum up like a proper sort of like passion point. To say that you're willing to, like you said, I think you said in the book, sometimes you just got to hang out by a dumpster.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to hang out by a dumpster.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because that's the whole reason why I titled it Dichotomies. Because it's kind of an ironic title, a little bit sarcastic perhaps. A lot of people assume that you can only do one major project at a time, thus, the dichotomy, like the nature of that, like being a touring band. Why you don't have time to take courses online. You don't have time to tour if you're doing school. That's not true. I've proven that that's not true.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's arrogant to say. It's like I physically did it and I accomplished it. So that's been proven.
No, it's definitely. And I'll tell you, like, I was in a band for a good 10 years, back about 10, 15 years ago. And when we were starting out, when we were sort of kicking on our like first album, like sort of cycle, I was holding down 3 jobs and the band as well. And I was also sort of semi-managing the band. So I was dealing with a lot of gig booking, promotion. Like we had a label that was kind of like a do-it-yourself label, like they'll distribute. That was a distribution deal, basically. But it was that kind of like very DIY. But I was holding down 3 different jobs at the same time. But it was a testament that you can do something like that if you're passionate about something so much and you have the means to do it. Then it can be done. It's obviously not for everyone. It's quite stressful, as you could probably.
It all depends on what your goals are. If it's something you genuinely want to do, you have to want to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far. But obviously, if you could hold down 3 jobs and still be successful in the group, that takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. I mean, the first album we were, like I say, that's when we had our moment. Subsequent albums, critically fine, but just sales were awful. So,
what can you do?
Exactly. I've still got CDs in my garage behind me right now. So one day they'll go, or I'll find them in a thrift store or something. So, what I was going to say, your book, is it available now?
Yes, it's available worldwide on numerous different websites, and it also is available through Blackwell's. Okay. So I know that's I don't think it's the largest chain in England, but I know it's one of the significant ones.
Yes.
So yes, I do have distribution through there. So if you go to Blackwell's, well, not right now, they're probably not open right now, but next time they're open, if you wanted to or go to the website or something, you can certainly get it through them, or Amazon UK.
Yeah,
it's on
cool.
It's on there as well.
Excellent. Because I was going to grab myself a physical copy. I'm a physical kind of copy of a book person.
Yeah,
as much as
am I.
As much as I like technology and I work in technology, it's I like picking up paper and print.
Yeah.
So it's like, especially because it kind of like takes me away from the screen and everything and all the other distractions that brings. Right. So
it's probably better on your eyes too, I would guess, as long as you have proper lighting. That would be my guess.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. I wear glasses as it is, so it's, anything to help that is it's great. But cool. I've got a couple of questions left for you. And I'll let you get on with the rest of your day and stuff. But these are this is my generic question moment. But it's more about, like, obviously it's about yourself. But what 3 albums would you say influenced you to be the kind of or to be the musician that you are and the person that you are today? Do you think?
3 albums to be the musician. Okay. I'll try to balance it with not only musical styles but also drumming. Cool. And because obviously those are both very perhaps different, but they might build off of each other. But Antipop from Primus, cool. I think that was one of the big ones. Just because the first concert I ever went to, the first 2 concerts, Primus was there, and they were an enormous influence on me. So that was in 99, and then 2000 were the first 2 concerts I ever attended. And 2000 is when we started the band, because I saw Brain playing for Primus, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to play drums for a band. So nice. I think Antipop from Primus is one. Cool. Chaosphere from Meshuggah, I would say that's probably another one. That one's, really aggressive, like over-the-top aggressive, and stylistically, it was just so interesting to hear how the musicians compose their work. So it really influenced how I play, not necessarily the crazy polyrhythms and all that stuff, but the way their drummer, Thomas, the way he approaches the drums, with his kick drums specifically, like his feet are always accenting what the guitars are doing rhythmically. Yeah. And so every time you hear him play any sort of beat, you're hearing that kick drum playing along with the guitars. And I just thought that was such a cool way to approach songwriting that I adopted it. So not like the full style of how he plays or anything like that, but that one little, subsection of style of how he approached the drums, I definitely adopted that in a huge way. Excellent. So when you listen to our stuff, you'll hear my kick drum following along with a lot of the rhythmic guitar parts as well. Yeah. And then a third one would probably have to be Enema of the State by Blink-182. Travis Barker is my favorite drummer, pretty much of all time, I guess. And just the way he approaches drums is just so interesting because he takes different styles of playing from jazz and from drum corps and Slayer. He loves Slayer and punk rock and like all these different styles, and he puts them all together into just parts that are just really fun to learn and fun to play. And so when I was learning how to play drums, even before we started the band Psychostick, I would play along or try to play along to all my favorite drummers. Some more successfully than others, but all the Travis Barker stuff, whenever I listen to his stuff, it was just so fun to play. Even if I couldn't keep up with it because it was too fast at the time or something like that, it's just really fun because it just took so many influences from so many things. So, yeah, I'd probably say Antipop from Primus, Chaosphere from Meshuggah, and Enema of the State from Blink-182.
Awesome. That's quite a selection right there. And I do.
Yeah, I like to be diverse too because I think there's good styles of music. There's like good bands from every style of music. Doesn't matter what.
Oh no, definitely, and particularly Primus on that one. I love that band. They're just so they're so great. Yeah, it's one of my it's one of the sort of bands that sort of inspired me to pick up a bass guitar.
Oh, cool.
I'm anywhere near how good he is. But
very few people are as good as him.
no, I know, and I'm just but every time I hear them, I just want to pick up my bass and just play. That's awesome. And that's it's one of those bands for me that really does kick it for me. And I really want to see their Rush tribute as well, the Rush cover show they do. That looks quite interesting because I was like,
that'd be wild.
There's not many people that can do what they do, and I think Primus are probably ones that can on that front.
I agree with that. Cool. The funny thing with that band is, as big of an influence as they are on me, I never would have met my girlfriend if I wasn't in this band because she lives in the Toronto area. So unless just because I was touring, that's the only reason I even got to meet her. But she hates Primus. So I sometimes tease her and tell her, we wouldn't even be together if it weren't for Primus. She's like, oh, man, God.
That's amazing.
So I think it's very amusing.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So also, like finally, what are your, I think we've probably covered some of them, but what are your hobbies away from music? What do you like to do when you're not performing or writing?
Oh, okay. Other hobbies. I'm a big reader. I try to read one chapter a day of any book. And the way I figured it out is that, let's say a book is 10 chapters long.
Yeah.
If there's 365 days in a year, that would be, roughly 36 books a year. So if you say 35, that means I can get through 35 books every single year. I could learn a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, and I've been averaging about 35 a year for several years now. So I've been, right now I'm reading this book called The Gene. It's just about genetics and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to branch out and learn more about the world in general, or, maybe read some sci-fi here and there. So,
oh, nice. Cool.
Children of Ruin, for example, is about space spiders, sentient space spiders by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So I highly recommend it. I'm pretty sure it might have been the Hugo Award. It got one of those, the Arthur C. Clarke Award, one of those.
What was it called? Children
of Time.
Of Time. I'm writing it down.
So yeah, that's excellent. It has a sequel that's just as good, too. So,
excellent.
Yeah, I'm a big reader. I also I started teaching, actually, online last year. Oh. I graduated with my master's from Franklin University, and I've been toying with the idea of looking into doctoral programs, things like that, but I've been pretty busy with other projects. But last year, the chair for business psychology, Dr. Forbes, he wrote me a little blurb on the back of my book, but Dr. Forbes, he was kind of prodding me hey, what other things do you want to do? You should get back into academia. And I missed it. I'm yeah, I do. I want to start looking in more, psychology and neuroscience and things like that. Yeah. So he's well, why don't you apply to teach some undergrad courses? And so my approach basically with Dr. Forbes is when he recommends something, I take it seriously because he's one of the smartest, most just well-read people I've ever met in my life. And I have a couple of funny stories about Dr. Forbes in the actual book too.
Nice.
But yeah, he recommended that I apply. I'm you know what? Why not? I'll try it out for a semester, and if I like it, great. And if I don't have to continue. It doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
So I applied, and I suspect that Dr. Forbes went to the lead faculty and said, all right, this resume right here, you need to take this one seriously. I suspect he had his hands. I think he was meddling in my affairs again in the best way possible. Because Dr. Kelly Renner, she's my lead faculty now, she got in touch with me and said, yeah, we want to bring you on. So how about teaching coaching and organization? So I taught a coaching course in, last fall. And now I'm teaching 3 courses. One was neuropsychology. The last one was social psychology. And currently I'm doing principles of motivation.
Wow.
So I'm doing all these different courses. But I think the neuropsychology is going to be the one that I continue with because that was, for me so far, that's been the most fun to just talk about nerdy brain things.
Yeah.
So got to learn about that brain stuff.
Yeah.
So that's been my other big project lately is teaching.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, doing everything that you do anyway with music, normally I found as I got older, that consumed more of my time. I think it was probably because, as music does and work kind of took that more of a back seat and I didn't maintain it.
Oh, yeah.
So, I've got one main job, which is fine. And it was better paid than the sort of 3 jobs that I had on my own. But just to have that sort of outlet for teaching. I mean, I taught, one of my 3 jobs was teaching. Nothing as advanced, Nothing as advanced as yours. I taught on it was on a music technology course. And it was basically DJ technology at the time.
Oh, interesting.
Because that's what I do. That's what I am. I'm a DJ. I'm a scratch DJ. I'm a club DJ, radio DJ, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the sort of rewards you get from teaching is amazing because I still have contact with some of my students. I'm talking sort of 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. And some of them are DJs still. They do it between jobs and other jobs and stuff, but they still go out, they play small clubs, they play on local radio stations and stuff like that. And yeah, the reward you get from teaching is amazing. It's trying to think where I was going to go with this one, but I was going to kind of liken it to the kind of like effect that your music can have on people as well. Despite the fact that it doesn't matter what kind of music you're making, but the effect that like you can have on people with the music, like it's the same with the teaching, because you can enlighten someone through showing them methods or theories of through academia and whatnot. But in music, you can sort of like, you can replicate feelings for people, or they can interpret it in a certain way that means so much to them.
Yeah.
Do you get
that's a really cool perspective. I really like that, actually.
I was going to say, do you get the same kind of feeling from it at the moment? Have you had that kind of like, that like from teaching, you've had a particular student or a couple of students that have really kind of taken to what you're doing?
I have a little bit, but I'm still just getting started with it. So I suspect that you've had much more experience with not only the teaching aspect, but the longer term, seeing how it evolves over time. Yeah. Because none of the students I've taught, it's only been, half a year, none of them have graduated. None of them have gone on to like graduate programs, anything like that. So I'm definitely encouraging that. But it'll be really interesting to see how that evolves.
Yeah.
However, I did have one student ask me if I could write her a letter of recommendation because she was applying to grad school. So I haven't heard back yet if she'd been accepted, but I suspect she has because she was a really, very good student. So I don't really have a very good answer for you about that. I haven't really experienced it too much, but I hope to in the near future. That'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it is something that kind of like it has come with sort of a bit more perspective behind me. Because like I say, it was a while ago, but I was a teacher for about 5 years. And it was sort of college level students, sort of 16 plus, because college is different from college to you guys. So it's but it's basically 16 to 18-year-olds, sort of fresh out of school. And it was that obviously they're all creative types because they're all on a music course, but showing them like at the time, which was quite a unique course in the sort of like art of DJing, if you will. It was certainly it's certainly like with this sort of long-term view, it is quite rewarding because at the time it was very. It was like I didn't see. You don't see the full picture, I guess, until a few years afterwards. So you'll get that point, and you'll get that like moment, I think. So
yeah, it's interesting to hear that from you because I kind of suspected that. I just didn't have any confirmation either way, but I suspected what you're saying already.
Yeah, awesome.
Also, what was funny is that the very first email I ever received from any student with my very first course, she asked, "Are you in that band Psychostick?" I'm like, "Oh no, how did this happen?" I wasn't necessarily trying to hide it from anyone, but I wanted to get off on the right foot, and I wanted to make sure that my students, at least respected me to the extent that they would listen to what I have to say and not just like kind of blow it off like, who's this kid? What is he talking about? He's just a band guy. I didn't want to come off like that. I wanted to be respected in my own right for the things I had studied and everything like that. So I wasn't necessarily trying to keep them separate, but I wasn't telling students like, hey, I'm in this band. Yeah. But literally the very first email, are you in that band Psychostick? I'm like, oh no.
There is that thing, because I think from a generation point of view, from like I think me and you like grew up in the same sort of era. But like being in a band, there was always this kind of like, I guess stigma. Like if you put it on your resume or anything like that, then employers wouldn't look at it seriously. So there is that kind of like, because I was like at the same point, I was in a band like when I was teaching, and some of the students knew who I was when it came to that.
That's funny.
But I think that the thing was with my one, it was because I was teaching DJ technology. I was a DJ in a new metal band, so it kind of it didn't have that kind of like, I don't think it had that connotation of he doesn't know, I'm not listening to him, because like I'm teaching DJing. I'm an active like DJ. Obviously, they weren't old enough to go into clubs, so they wouldn't see me there. but they were old enough to go
Right.
to gigs and stuff because like we were playing like, you know, all age shows and whatnot. So, but yeah, no, it's certainly a weird thing. So I didn't put it on my resume for such a long time, despite the sort of skills that I got from doing that, especially on the like the admin side of things and dealing with like people, like you know, promoters and whatnot and managers and stuff like that. But I've since working for the company I work for now, they've kind of encouraged me to really like use what I learned in that respect.
That's good.
Which is nice. You know, it's kind of like, it gives me that kind of like, still gives me that kick, you know, that I used to get from performing and whatnot. So, you know.
Yeah, a lot of interpersonal relations and all the other skills you have to develop. I mean, yeah, there's a lot that comes with it.
Yeah, a lot. You got to deal with a lot of ambiguity. So it's, you know, it's one of those like it's I don't know why it's never looked on as something favorable. I don't know if it's because it's just like because people see music as a pastime rather than a profession. But that's,
it's a stereotype for sure. It's definitely a stereotype.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm trying to destroy the barriers, just trying to destroy the stereotypes.
Break them down. Break them down.
That's my goal.
Excellent.
My goal is also to have the most bizarre resume in history. So I'm going to keep doing as much weird stuff as I can possibly pile on.
No, do it. Do it. Yes, definitely do it. That'll be amazing. Cool. Well, Alex, thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Good luck with everything you're doing. And once this sort of downtime passes and stuff, I hope to see you guys out on the road again. And when you hit England, I will be there. I'm like I say, I'm in and around London-ish. So
that's great.
You know, Reading's right pretty much on my doorstep. So
excellent. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
no
worries.
Time.
I did actually miss you guys. I think you guys were I was living in Tampa, actually. I know you mentioned it earlier. I was actually living in Tampa for a good 5-6 years, and you guys did come to town while I was there, but I was actually like, I couldn't make the show that night. So I think you were playing, I think it was either State Theatre or something like that in St. Pete, or
yeah, I know. We've been to both of those. We've been to, it doesn't matter the names of them, but yeah, we've been to a lot of clubs in Tampa.
Yeah, so it's like, I wanted to come see you guys then, but I couldn't get, I can't remember what I was doing. It was a while ago. But yeah, no, that was just funny you mentioned Tampa earlier, and it just got me thinking. I was like, oh shit, yes, yeah, I could have.
There's actually a short little story. I mentioned the State Theater in my book as well, so
really?
It'll be funny. If you go through there, like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
yeah, excellent. I'm definitely going to read it. So, cool. Well, Alex, thank you very much again, mate. I really appreciate your time with this. Good luck with your book and everything. I'm going to pick up a copy. I'm going to see if I can order it online
thanks so
now.
much.
And have a good rest of your day.
You too. Have a good one.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
Take care.